Hi moms, from all of us here at Amare Global, we want to say welcome and thank you for joining us at the I Am Mom Summit. We are so excited and proud to be co-sponsoring this event to bring you the content, the type of information that might be able to make a difference in your life and the lives of your families. At Amare Global, we are the mental wellness company. We provide natural solutions to the mental wellness challenges of the day, and we certainly encourage you to come and visit us when you get a chance. But for now, it's on to the next great speaker. We hope you enjoy it.
Hi, my name is Takasaki, and I'd like to talk to you today about building deep, extended family relationships and why that's worth the effort. I serve as the board chair of an organization that's all about faith and family and motherhood. We're called Big Ocean Women. In March, we're headed to the United Nations to promote family and the close relationships that can be found within family. We claim that these connections make individuals stronger and more resilient. I was blessed to be in a very close-knit, extended family. In fact, I shared a bedroom with my paternal grandfather and my maternal grandmother. I remember waking up in the middle of the night because they snored so loudly and thinking to myself, how am I supposed to sleep? But you know what? It became a blessing. My friends now know me as someone who can sleep anywhere, anytime, and through anything. So thanks, Grandma and Grandpa. My grandparents and their children were extremely close-knit, partly because of their culture, but a lot because they spent 3 years together in a relocation camp during World War II. If you can imagine it, they were rounded up by government authorities because they lived on the West Coast and because they were Japanese. It's true, my grandparents had come from Japan and were still Japanese citizens at that time, but they loved America. And their children, their second and third generations, were American-born. They were citizens of America. Nevertheless, they were told that they could only take what they could carry. 1 suitcase for some, 2 suitcases for others. They had to leave everything that they had worked for behind. The first 3 months were horrible. They were in animal stalls. They were there because the government didn't have a place for them to go yet, so they were quickly building these large barracks all over the western United States. So while they were being built, they stayed in the Santa Anita racetracks. I don't know what was the worst part of it. The stench of the animals, the water that came out from a pipe in the wall at waist level. That was their shower. Sleeping on military cots on mattresses that they stuffed themselves with dirty straw. Having soldiers all around pointing guns at them. It was hard. It was really hard. And then at the end of that period, they were put on a train, and they traveled for a day and a night and a day to somewhere they had never known before, and they ended up in Heart Mountain, Wyoming, the top northern part of Wyoming. It's interesting that they would go so peacefully and compliantly, but because of the leadership of the Japanese people, they went peacefully. They thought that was the best way to help out the situation, that nothing else could be done, so make the most of it. But you know, the real thing that sustained them through all of this was family. They had deep, extended family relationships before they even had to go to camp. And that's what got them through it. After the treaty between Japan and America was signed, they had 1 week to find a place to go after living 3 years in these camps. You know, the camps were going to be shut down. They got tired. They didn't want to feed all these Japanese people 3 meals a day. So they shut the camps down and gave them 1 week to find a place to go. Well, 30 of them went to southern Utah. And there, as extended family, they found strength in one another. and they made it through another difficult time in their lives. My family lived in a barrack that was brought over from Delta, Utah. And I remember wondering why my house looked so weird. It was black tar paper that was attached by wooden slats, nailed wooden slats to hold this black tar paper on my house. Yeah, my house looked weird compared to other normal houses, right? That's where we were, and that's where we stayed. Most of those 30 people left. They went back to the city, to Salt Lake City or to Los Angeles. But my father stayed there in southern Utah and became a farmer. Again, it was our family closeness that got us through all the hard times. One huge blessing of being in that situation, though, is that my grandparents lived with us. As a Japanese family, you live with your oldest son. Well, my father was the only son, and so my widowed grandfather lived with us. And my widow grandmother came to live with us from March until October because my mom needed her help. My mom was out on the farm with my dad, and so Grandma came and helped out with all the household chores, the cooking and the cleaning. So there I was, in this wonderful situation with my grandparents right there with me. And one of the really wonderful blessings of having them there was that my aunts and uncles and cousins, they came all the time. They came to see us. And I adored my cousins. I didn't need friends. I had my cousins. They were my best friends. Living in a predominantly white community, that's an understatement. We were the only people of color in that whole county, practically. But I did crazy things, like putting Scotch tape on my eyelids so that I could have a double eyelid like my Caucasian friends. I stuffed my bra with stockings because, I had practically no breasts at all, and they were quite voluptuous. I went to bed with my hair rolled around orange juice cans so that it would be smooth and look silky like my friend's hair. I did these crazy things, but you know what? So did my cousins. They did it too. We had our differences. I was Mormon, they were Buddhist. I was from this small town in southern Utah, and they were from the big metropolis of Salt Lake City. Those differences didn't matter. We were family, and we loved one another deeply. We had a family culture that we all understood. That culture included hard work, good grades, delicious food, frequent family gatherings, self-sacrifice, flat feet, nearsightedness, crooked teeth, but most important, we were devoted to one another. This family cohesiveness was the result of strong leadership. And we have to give much of the credit to the moms for this. It was our mothers who prepared the traditional family recipes that were passed down from generation to generation. It was our mothers who insisted that we show respect to our grandparents and to our fathers and our aunts and our uncles. It was our mothers who made sure that we got together often. It wasn't easy for them. It took effort, self-sacrifice, but they made it happen, and we were blessed because of it. And so when my generation started to get married and have children, our family continued the effort required so that our children could also have the blessings of those deep, everlasting relationships. My brothers and male cousins were definitely on board, but I also give credit to my wonderful sisters-in-law and my cousins, my female cousins, for being willing to work hard for this family cohesiveness. We planned gatherings like Thanksgiving, the 4th of July, and a week of nonstop fun between Christmas and New Year's. We also had the memory of trips. 30 of us went to Japan to be with our Japanese relatives. We have summer reunions and fishing and spontaneous gatherings, like cousins game night and Fry Fest and my Halloween party. All of these things, it takes effort, but it's worth it. When our parents and older aunts and uncles were still with us, they always sat at a special table. They ate first. They were important, and we made sure that they were revered. The family support was tangible, whether it was making offerings at the Buddhist temple or attending a Christian baptism. We were all there together. When my niece became my daughter's piano teacher, I think that my daughter used the piano lessons to just vent, to get advice from her cousin, her older cousin, and to complain about me, probably. But I was happy that she could do that and gladly, paid for piano lessons. When my brother's wife passed away from cancer, he called me to say, "Peter needs a mother more than he needs a father, so I'm sending him to live with you." We had one aunt and uncle who never had children but considered all of us their children. They lived hundreds of miles away, but we somehow felt so close to them. We especially loved my aunt, Auntie Ruthie, Rose Watamura. When my mother was busy working on the farm, she'd send pieces of fabric to Auntie Ruthie, and then Auntie Ruthie would sew beautiful dresses for me. She was a wonderful seamstress, and then she would send them to me through the mail. The grandnieces and grandnephews also felt close to these wonderful people and made effort to be close to them and to see them and visit them and send them pictures and cards. 2 of our great-grandnieces are named after my aunt. My brother Warren was her favorite, and he took care of her and helped her when she still lived in California. But the last years of her life, she came to Utah to live with us. When she passed away, I wanted to do something so that we'd all remember her forever. And so I had this idea. I used some of her money and bought sewing machines, nice sewing machines, for all of her nieces and grandnieces, and all of her great-grandnieces and great-grandnieces-in-law. They all sew now, and their daughters, the great-grandnieces, are sewing as well. What a beautiful way to show their respect and gratitude to their aunt, and what a wonderful way for them to remember her. The point that I'm trying to make is that these deep family relationships, they're worth the effort. They really are. Put your parents and your grandparents on a pedestal. That's how you can do it. If you want to do this, make the effort. Teach your children to honor them and respect them. Make sure that they get phone calls and visits, that you see them often. Invite them to your house. Your house doesn't have to be clean. It doesn't have to be perfect. Your food doesn't have to be perfect. Invite them over often. Ask them to help you and help them. Don't worry that everything is just right for them. They don't care. They just want to be with you. They want to know your kids, and they want to feel close to all of you. Make sure that when Grandma and Grandpa are at your house, that they're served first. You kind of put them on a pedestal. You help your children treasure their food and their gifts and their affection. As soon as they get to the house, you have the children run to them and greet them, and when they leave, you have them say goodbye with hugs and kisses. You make this effort, and help your children write thank you notes to them, and thank them for all that they do, And do the same for your aunts and uncles. You know, do the same for your cousins. Invite them over. Go to their house. When they move somewhere, make it a point to go see where they live and see their house and what they're doing. Be part of their lives and invite them to be part of your life. Let your children spend time with their cousins. Have sleepovers and campouts. Go on vacations together. Dress them alike. When the kids were small, I loved making alike dresses for all the girls. And now, I even try to do this sometimes now, but you know, when you go to family reunion and you all put on the family reunion t-shirt, it's a magical feeling to feel so unified and to know that you belong to something really special, something strong and everlasting. Family love can be unconditional love, godlike love. It's precious and valuable and worth the hard work. It's up to you, really. As a mom, you can make this happen. It might take humility on your part. You might say, I guess my pot roast doesn't have to be the best pot roast in the world. I can let Grandma's pot roast be better than mine. You might have to let your children wear clothes that you think are kind of ugly because those clothes were given to them by Grandma and Grandpa or Auntie and Uncle or by a cousin. Think about what you want to have happen. Do you want your children to have this strength, this beautiful identity, to become resilient because of it and able to face struggles and trials in a stronger way? I hope you'll consider this. And if you do, I know that it will be a great blessing to you. Thank you. Thank you very much.